Have you ever seen these chairs? Full recline, 4D armrests. Some even have adjustable lumbar support these days. They've become a fixture at almost every esports event for the last 10 years. They look premium and have the price tag to match. But what if I told you that for me, they simply aren't worth the money? These are gaming racing bucket chairs. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but that's what they are. But what is a gaming chair? As the name suggests, they're tailor-made for gamers, right? But aren't we just sitting at a desk behind a computer, like any office worker? If both gaming chairs and office chairs are for the same purpose, sitting, what's really setting these two apart? Now, if you're a gamer, you might be logging 60 plus hours a week, maybe even more time than you spend sleeping. You're essentially glued to this thing, so you should want it to be well designed. Have you ever stopped to wonder, where did gaming chairs even come from? Why do they look like they belong in a race car? Well, it's not some genius ergonomic breakthrough. It's mostly a style choice that stuck. Back in the early 2000s, companies like DX Racer took inspiration from racing bucket seats, originally designed to keep drivers locked in place during high-speed turns. The vibe was cool, low profile, bold colors, that need for speed aesthetic. But here's the catch. Racing drivers sit for a couple of hours max, and they're braced for motion. Gamers, we're parked for 6, 8, even 12 hours, barely moving. So why are we using a design built for a totally different activity? It's kind of odd when you think about it. With that said, over the years, these chairs have come a long way, and the designs have evolved to include more adjustability and comfort for gaming. However, Secretlab does claim their chairs are the most ergonomic in the world, so it seems fair I can compare them to Herman Miller's Embody and Aeron, my two favorites. Lumbar support. The Aeron's posture fit adjusts height and depth for lumbar and sacral support. Embody's pixelated back fit hugs your upper spine, adapting dynamically as you move. Secretlab's Titan Evo, just depth adjustment via a knob, no height control. The hard back might make maintaining posture difficult for some. For customizable back support, Herman Miller wins. Backrest tilts. Secretlab's Titan Evo reclines from 85 to 165 degrees, which is great for lounging or napping. In the Aeron, it just tops out at 120 degrees with a forward tilt option, while the Embody has an auto-adjusting recline that responds to your weight for a great balance feeling that can be maintained for long periods of time. Secretlab wins on range, but Herman Miller's tilt systems prioritize posture and comfort over time. Armrests. The Titan Evo boasts 4D armrests, height, width, depth, and pivot, plus swappable magnetic tops. Aeron's got height and pivot with depth as an add-on, and the Embody mirrors this with some extra finesse. Secretlab's armrests are flashier, but Herman Miller's still nailed the ergonomic essentials. I also have to add, I've seen at many esports events, players having to take the armrests completely off to fit under the desk. Something to bear in mind as the Embody and Aeron have a lower armrest at the bottom position. Seat tilt. The Aeron offers a 5-degree forward tilt for active sitting. The Embody seat flexes with your spine and accounts for your weight in how it reclines. The Titan Evo multi-tilt rocks the seat slightly, but there's no forward option. So Herman Miller's tilt functionality for me will work for more people if we're keeping posture in mind. And in terms of practical experience, with racer chairs, I've always found it hard to maintain good posture due to the hard back. As my back isn't as supported, my posture will worsen over time. Also, I like to move my upper body a bit to stretch, and with broad shoulders, I feel like my movement is restricted compared with my Embody or an Aeron. According to Herman Miller's research, the eyes always win when it comes to posture. If you're really focused on a task, you'll likely start to lean forward. Sound familiar? If we want to keep our lumbar spine in a more optimal position, where there's less load on it, we want to be reclined a little. And due to how the Embody conforms to my spine fully, it makes it way easier and more natural to maintain that reclined position when gaming. Again, in the racer chairs, I struggle with this, as the back is too hard and doesn't have the same ergonomic tech. And another issue I have is I need to get under the desk a bit, and if I was to use this chair as my daily driver, I would certainly have to remove the armrests as their bottom position is too high, especially when I'm in a slight recline, an issue I just don't have with the Embody. Now, Herman Miller pumps $10 to $20 million into research and development for each big chair design, covering everything from prototypes and testing to securing patents. On the flip side, it's tough to nail down what private companies like Secretlab invest in their gaming chairs since they don't share those numbers. But what we do see is mostly variations of the same thing, the racing style bucket seat, rather than groundbreaking shifts in design or features. Over time, there has been improvement. They've removed some of those annoying ridges, and more back support has been introduced, but it still seems so far away from competing with a Herman Miller design. I wonder if going so hard into this bucket seat design has trapped them into being unable to innovate further or pick new design directions, as it might just make them look like any other office chair brand. And that's not a space that would be easy to compete in. Contrast all this with something like the Herman Miller Aeron. This chair, it wasn't born from a car. It came from decades of ergonomic science, starting in the 90s with designers Don Chadwick and Bill Stumpf obsessing over how people actually sit. They weren't chasing a look, they were solving a problem. And that's where the practical differences pile up. The edge that brands like Herman Miller, Steelcase, and other office chair giants have is their massive market. To come out on top in a space that big, they've got to outshine the competition, and they do it by crafting top-tier products for long hours of sitting. That means pouring serious money into research. Take the Embody chair. Its design pulled in over 30 experts, from doctors to PhDs and stuff like biomechanics, ergonomics, and physical therapy. Now I get it, price is a huge deal when choosing a chair. And given everything I've said, you might expect gaming chairs to be significantly cheaper. But shockingly, that's not necessarily the case. Gaming chairs usually come in at about a third of the cost of a high-end office chair. Think $250 to $750 for a gaming chair these days, compared to maybe $400 to $1,500 for a premium office chair. Here's the pro tip though. Office chairs have a thriving secondhand market. Thanks to office closures or excess inventory, sites like MadisonSeating.com are loaded with open box or used deals where you may see discounts as much as 75%. There really are some incredible YouTube channels that can guide you through a fit and buying process so you can get a great deal. Now that should knock down the usual complaint about the steep upfront price of a Herman Miller. Right now, I'm sitting in an Embody, but honestly, I love the Aeron still too. So when we stack these two chairs against each other, what's the upside for gaming chairs? Honestly, they're not for me. But I'll admit, casual gamers might still find something to like. They have their cozy gamer vibe, which is genuinely appealing for many. And for overall comfort, the chairs aren't bad by any stretch, but if you're extremely picky like me and genuinely concerned about long-term health outcomes, you'll get more health-forward options due to the advanced ergonomic technology that you'll find on an Embody or Aeron chair. The Embody does require fine-tuning when setting it up, but when you eventually get it right, it feels incredible. Love my content? Join my Patreon for exclusive extended podcasts, behind-the-scenes videos, weekly performance tips, and more. Check the description to support me and level up your experience. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.